Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dani. Nice to meet you. Today we are talking about the books that I bought in the last month or so, or even less, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Damn. Uh, well, what to say, except for I've bought a lot of books. I wanted them, but still, it's a lot of books. I don't know. Anyway, I went to the book fair in Bologna. How you say it to me is Bologna, but it's a sort of big tent, and there's a sort of market with stands by people who sell both used books, new books, but also other type of collectibles like LP records or vintage newspaper, vintage magazines, postcards, a lot of things. I've bought two books in that occasion. One is La Compagnia dei Celestini by Stefano Benni. Now, I think this book has been translated into English, but I'm not sure. This is about these young children who are homeless, if I'm not mistaken, and they play soccer around the city, around the streets. Um, and they start, to play football. Well, no, soccer. They two different things. Um, and there are things that happens, like they go on adventures basically. And I remember watching the TV series when I was younger, the animated series, and it was good. It was very good. I used to watch it when I was like 11, maybe 10, 11. It was good. It was good. Now, give me a second so I check if it's been translated because I want to be sure. Okay, I found out that the title is Street Football or Futuru. Um, well, actually, that was like the animated series, but I think the book has been translated with the same title. I'm searching for it. There's French, there's Danish. No, apparently it hasn't been translated. Weird, because if there's the TV series, why shouldn't be a book available? Whatever. That was one. And then I also got Clean Tabula Rasa by Glenn Cooper. I've never read anything by this author, and this book came out in 2020, which was a weird time to publish a book. And it talks about this doctor who discovered a cure for Alzheimer, and at some point there's a pandemic. And see, this is why I said it was weird that it was published in 2020, and people are losing their memory because of this pandemic, and it's a dystopian book, so everything collapses, and this doctor knows there's something he could do, but there are a lot of things happening. I'm all for dystopian books. I haven't read one in a long time, actually, months and months. I've got these for €5. It's brand new, and I put it in my wish list as soon as it came out in the Italian version because I was really captivated by it. Let me see. Yeah, the original title is still clean, so great. Then, while I was in Bologna, I went to Libraccio, which I've told you is my favorite bookstores chain, I think. I still haven't checked if you can say chain in this situation, but this is another story. I have bought, let me see. Why do I feel like I'm missing a book? I don't know. I saw I bought 9 books, but apparently I bought only 8. Whatever. Let's start from the beginning. The first book that I got was La vita inizia quando trovi il libro giusto. Let me check the original title. It's by Ali Berg and Michelle Klaus. The book Ninja. What? Weird. Basically, it's about this woman that leaves books she liked on the train, hoping that the person that finds the book reach out to her because she leaves a sort of like note in the book saying, "Hey, would you like to know me because we have like the same taste in books?" And and she's very lonely, so she does this for this reason. But it could turn into a love story if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, when it came out, there was a lot of like publicity, I would say, advertisement about this book. Like it was everywhere. I've read mixed review. Originally, every review I read was positive, but then like 6 months passed and there were some mixed or negative review. But I was very curious, so I got it. I got it for a great price, so half the price because it's used technically. It's in great shape. Then I got, let me see, I've got this book by an author that I've read something by, and it's Delphine de Vigan. Delphine de Vigan. This is The Darker Hours, if I'm not mistaken. I really don't know. I don't know the plot. I'm reading it. The story is about Thibaut, who's 40. He's single. He's um, doctor in Paris, and he treats I don't know what. He's very lonely, and on the other side, there's also Mathilde, same age. Um, she's a single mother with 3 children. She works in marketing, and at some point, I think they meet. Yeah, they meet in May. So that it would be amazing if I could read this in May. Well, anyway, I've read another book by this author, and this is the reason I picked this one up. Actually, had another one in my wish list, not this one, but I was like, I'm here. It's great price. So I'm gonna get it. I've read No et moi. If I'm not, this is the French title. I don't remember the English title of that book, but it was a good book, so I do recommend checking that other book out, and we'll see. We'll see. The expectations are high. Although it's a short book. Also, that one was short because I'm looking at it. Whatever. I've got this book. This is a children book about World War II. Okay, the title is the same. When Hitler Saw the Pink Rabbit by Judith Kerr. It's about this family who has to leave Berlin because of the war, and the main character is this young girl, if I'm not mistaken, um, that has to deal with losing everything, and like what remains is the fact that you are alive, which is not so it's not something you have to take for granted in such awful times. And I've never read it when I was younger, so this is an old book. I think it was written in the 70s, but I have never got it. Yes, it was written in the 70s. So without the price, awful situation because the sticker of the price here, I tried to remove it and it ruined the cover. I dropped it. Okay, great. Then I bought this book, which is an Italian book for children, is a dystopian. It's called Cuori di Carta by Elisa Puricelli Guerra. It's a story of these two kids who are living like notes in books, and they don't know each other, but they get to exchange these notes with books. The point is, like, they are basically closed into this building, which is an institute, but like while they're talking, they're exchanging notes, they start to understand that there's more in this place. It's not a normal school, it's not, there's something wrong. So it's a dystopian, apparently. I've heard good things when it came out, and I've always wanted to read it, but I didn't manage to get a copy before. So here we are. I'm very happy. Then I bought a graphic novel by an Italian author, which is called Stello Sparo, which means stars or shoot, or I shoot. And it's by Nova. This is about these two friends going on a journey, because one of the two is going through a quite of weird time, and so she needs to find herself. But at the same time, the other friend is trying to find themselves, if I'm not mistaken. It was off the price, brand new, so I had to have it. It was one of the many graphic novels that were actually on sale that I had on my wish list. Um, I choose to get this one. I bought three mangas. One is volume second of Sunset Light by Maki Usami. I have volume one, still need to read it. This is a closed series, like it's finished. It's made by 5 volumes. Um, it's about this girl whose father get married with this woman who has two kids, if I'm not mistaken. So it's about like um, how it feels like living in a bigger family and having to deal with other people, but also about adolescence, and first love and all that stuff. I also bought the first volume of Studio Cabana by Uma Agri. This is about these two people, these two kids, young people. I'm sorry, today I'm a mess. He's sort of troublemaker, but apparently is very good at playing guitar and singing very sad songs. So this girl who is like the best of her year, she's a great student, she hurts him and she falls in love basically with that version of him. I love books about music because I can play any instrument myself, but I can't even sing. But I really love music, so I really like stories that involve some other sort of art, like music, especially music, actually. I've actually spoilered myself by knowing that it's probably gonna be sad, but like it looked great. I don't know, I had to have it. And I also got the first volume of Orange by Takano. Um, it's about this girl named Naho. She receives a letter from the future herself that tells her to not have any regrets because growing up she will have regrets. And so she's like, she needs to figure out what are these regrets apparently her future self is struggling with, and if it has anything to do with this guy she likes, the people around, I've heard good things, but I was a bit unsure. I think this is one of the most known mangas ever, like most known ever. And I don't know, there's the anime too. I was like, I'm gonna take the first volume. Let's see what it's about. So here we are. But then I wasn't apparently happy with myself, and I went to the comic store to get my copy of the seventh volume of How I Met My Soulmate by Anna Shin. This is the Italian edition. The only thing changing, I think, it's the title. Um, I've just read volume 5. I love this story. This is a shoujo. I'm not sure it's a shoujo. I think it's another type of manga for young women, but I don't remember how it's called. So I apologize. This is about this girl named Yuki. She's 20. She moved from the countryside to Tokyo. I'm sorry, and she'd love to find the love of her life. So her friends and she's like, "Let's go to a discotheque," and they go. And Sanai is like an extrovert, so it's very easy for her to socialize with anyone. Meanwhile, Yuki tends to be very shy and insecure, and so she stays like at her place. She takes care of a boy with a huge engova, and when he feels better, he tells her, "You took care of me. Let me help you back. With something. I owe you a favor." And she's like, "Okay, I want to find the love of my life." And he's like, "Okay, let's see what we can do." And it's a love story, and I love the love interest in this story because it was like my first manga boyfriend, I would say. It's a good story, and it's very, very well drawn. It's amazing. I love Anna Shin style. The comic book store owner gave me also a copy of Mikami by Takashi Shiina. This is an old sort of vintage comic about like this agency uh, that are sort of Ghostbusters, and he told me he was giving away some older volumes of comics because he was making space for the new things. I've never heard this manga, but the big issue is that this is a vintage copy and it hasn't been reprinted in any type of new format, so that's very sad. That's very sad. I went to another comic store. We have two in my city, my town. This one is an anthology. This is I don't know if there's an English version, I must be honest. It's called La stufa in riva al mare e altre storie, which means like, wow, I don't know what stufa means in English. I mean, I know what it is. The eater. Oh yeah, the eater by the seashore. Weird. Let me see. I don't think um there's an English version, but let me see. Okay, it's by Kogani Oshiro. Never heard about this author. Let me check. Japanese? No. Apparently, Italian. It's the first translation that comes out. I've seen it. This has been published not so long ago, and I really like comic anthologies. They're cool. They're cool. I've read, I think, three at the moment, and my third manga, no, the fourth maybe, was actually this type of book. So also the format is pretty different from other mangas, and I love it. Then I made a purchase on Vinted because I wanted a dress, and the woman that was selling the dress was also selling two books I wanted. The first one is The World's Best Man by Mia Sosa, which talks about this wedding planner that's been left by the author, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and she needs to organize a wedding for a very important person. Oh no, very important hotel business, and she has to do it with the person she ate the most, which is basically the best man of what should have been her husband, if I'm not mistaken. And so she really needs to make this work for her career because this is an important job. But at the same time, she hates him because he's the reason that the wedding didn't go as it should have. And I'm not into enemy to lovers. Like, it's not my favorite trope when it comes to love stories, romance, romances. But I'm very curious, so I'm happy I got it. I also got From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I've heard great things about this on Bookstagram, actually. It's one of those books that became very famous because of social media. It's a sport romance, which not really my style, and it's about this woman that has always been a champion in how is said high skating, but like the double, like the one with the couples. But sadly, her partner won't do this anymore, and so she needs to partner up. If I'm not mistaken, that's how you say it. She needs to, um, get to work with Ivan Lukov, or Ivan. How do you pronounce that? And she doesn't like him, but it's like biggest um, moment for her career. Sorry, but the sun disappeared for a moment, and she's like, "Okay, let's do this." And yeah, another enemies to lovers. This girl, this woman who sold me the dress had a taste, or maybe she tried, like I'm going to do, to read these books, but she didn't appreciate them, and so here we are with two enemies to lovers. I also bought a graphic novel which is only in Italian at the moment, so I'm just gonna mention it, which is Piovono Corvi by Daniel Cuello. He's an Italian comic writer, and this is a companion graphic novel to other books he wrote, um, other graphic novel he wrote, and they're all taking place in this world who's dying, like our planet, and it's a dystopian type of situation, especially because there's a dictatorship. And I've read the first 3 volumes, so I was very excited to have this one too. The sad part is that I got it on ebook. Meanwhile, I have all the other books on the hardcover paperback edition. You know, choices were made and were taken. Choices. Do you take a choice? Do you make a choice? I don't know how to speak anymore today. I need to dye my hair, and when this is when this happens, I forget how to talk, so I apologize. I'm very glad you made it to this point. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give me any recommendation down in the comments, because I'm always here and pretty well open to recommendation. Bye!